Hey everyone, it's Hugh from Financially Free by 40 and also the ebook investor, and in this video, as promised, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look at Authority Pub Academy, which has been created by S.J. Scott and Barrie Davenport. And why am I doing this video? Well, there are a couple of reasons behind that. For those of you that follow me, you'll be aware that I am creating my own Kindle Publishing course, and not only have I used this as a framework this course as a framework to do my own. But I've also failed to get out at the date that I promised, which would be the end of July 2016. And as a result, some people have actually been waiting for my course to come out before they start their journey of self-publishing. And as I felt like I've let a few people down, I thought I would do an introduction into the only course that I would recommend to anyone else interested in Kindle publishing or self-publishing in general, and that's this course that you're looking at right now, Authority Pub Academy. Now, this is a relatively new course. It came out at the start of this year, and I've been following Steve Scott for a couple of years now, and he was part of the reason that I went into self-publishing full stop from looking at his earnings. I didn't know much about Barrie Davenport apart from that she had co-authored books with Steve Scott. But once he said he was going to create a course, I knew I was going to be interested, and as soon as he released it, I just jumped all over it. This course, as I mentioned in a previous video, was part of the reason that I delayed my own course, because it raised the standard of self-publishing, and not only did I learn a shit ton of stuff that I wanted to apply myself, just made me realise that I've got to up my game if I want to bring a course out and add as much value as this one does. I've done numerous courses. I've spent thousands of pounds on courses. I've had coaching one-to-one, and this is the one thing that I'd recommend. K-Money Mastery got me started. Stefan, I'll be eternally grateful for what you did to get me going, but I do not recommend his course. I do not send out affiliate links for it anymore. I think it's well out of date, and too many people copy his processes, which are now perceived below average. Or even poor in most cases. So this is a much higher level. It's more expensive, but you pay for what you get, in my opinion. So this video, long and short of it, I'm going to give you a rundown of what it's all about, so you guys can decide whether or not it's for you. Okay, so let's start very briefly with who the hell is S.J. Scott and Barrie Davenport. So if you go to Amazon, I've gone to Amazon.com here because this is where they make the vast majority of their money, and you can see across here all of Steve's books. Now, if you'll notice the bottom, Kindle edition, almost all of these are Kindle. There's one paperback then, but most of those are Kindle editions. The one that shows here is the bestseller within that book. If that said paperback, it means the paperback outsells the Kindle edition. So Steve Scott sells Kindle books like hotcakes, and they're mainly priced at this $2.99. You'll see The Miracle Morning for Writers here has been co-authored with Hal Elrod, who's an ultra successful entrepreneur who has his own podcast and book, The Miracle Morning. If you've heard The Miracle Morning, he's actually decided to work with Steve Scott over everyone else on how you become a writer, which I think gives Steve a hell of a lot of credibility. If that's not enough, I'm just going to click on here, which is my KD Spy device, and it will just show you a very brief rundown of what Steve earns approximately. These numbers are not exact science, but they'll just give you a guideline. So those are the estimated sales, monthly sales. So this is the monthly revenue those books would approximately bring in. And if you have a look at what that would mean, the total monthly revenue for the Kindle only books he's got here would be $15,800. Steve has earned over $550,000, so $500,000 in 2 years on books. He knows his stuff. He writes all of them. I've released over 80 books. I haven't written any of it. I've written some paragraphs, but I get people to outsource for me. But Steve does all of his own stuff. It's all non-fiction, and it's all kind of self-help related and habit related. Barrie Davenport, I knew very little about. As you'll see, scanning across the bottom here, there are more paperback editions, and actually a couple of them here you can see are with Steve Scott. The numbers that I've put forward here on KD Spy are for Kindle only. Okay, So Barrie is earning approximately $5,000 a month. That does not include pages read, and it does not include paperback or audio sales as well. So these guys are earning a hell of a lot more. They've got a course which they're earning money from and other stuff as well, and coaching. But these guys are legit authors. They know what they're doing. I think when you go into the course and you hear the content and what they're talking about, it becomes very clear that these guys know their stuff. So that's a little bit about the two individuals as authors themselves. They've also put together a website, authority.pub, which you can access a blog, podcast, training series before actually going to the academy itself. So they offer loads of free stuff, self-publishing for bloggers. They have a bestseller checklist, free of charge. You can download that. They've got a free training video to give you an insight into how they do their stuff, as well as some blog some blog articles, on some really key self-publishing issues. One other cool thing, guys, if you don't take them up on the course, I definitely recommend checking out their podcast, which is the Authority Self-Publishing Show by Steve, Barrie and Ron. Ron is involved with the course, but Ron is only in a couple of videos. I think he does more behind-the-scenes stuff. So apologies, Ron, if I've underplayed you there. I'm not too familiar with your process and what you're involved with, because Steve and Barrie do the vast majority of it. So check out their podcast, which is dedicated solely for self-publishing. Right, let's get to the nitty-gritty and the course itself. So Authority Pub Academy, I got it at the start of the year. I was one of the first people to get it. As such, I had it at a discount, and each time they've promoted it, they promote it every couple of months. They open and close the window for buying it. The price has gone up, I can see. So I think it's getting more and more popular. They're adding more and more content to it. There's more competition, so they want to differentiate themselves from the competition, so they've been raising the prices. So if this interests you, you like the sound of it, you want to give it a go, I probably wouldn't wait on it, because the chances are it's going to get more and more expensive the more and more you leave it. Once you pay for it, you're in, and you're in for life. So all of the upgrades they've had, the new videos, new tutorials, the updates, the documents, they're all included. I haven't got to pay anything extra for that. I'm here with them for life now. So let's actually show you around the site. So I'm logged in here. This is the home page. This is a brief 4-minute video on the welcome. There's the stuff at the top there, which I'm going to go through in a moment. And these are the 6 modules, which I'll also briefly go through each one to show you what they are. So to start with, I'm on the home page. Then we look at the actual modules themselves broken down. Lesson archives is just another way of looking at the modules. It's every single lesson broken down so you can get straight to them, which I'll show you in a minute. There are some bonuses, some guest expert interviews, which are like half an hour to an hour on each one. There's the Facebook group, which you're part of, which I'll come to later. Support if you've got any questions about the membership, and also the resources that they use that you can choose to use as well. So let's have a look at the breakdown of the modules. I showed you briefly. Module 1 is about the authority publisher mindset, getting in the right frame of mind for doing self-publishing and Kindle publishing. I think this is the most important thing. It's great learning all the tips and the formulas and how to launch, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're wasting your time. And vice versa, people that don't have this knowledge but have the right killer mindset, you're going to make a success of it. That's just what I've found in my experience from the coaching people I've worked with. Module 2, best-selling book idea formula. So how you can go about creating a book, finding your niche, what is right for you. This isn't generic, it's about finding it tailored towards you, which I am 100% in support of. Module 3, how to write your bestseller. So if it hasn't become obvious at this stage, Steve and Barrie do all of their own writing, and this course is based around the non-fiction writer or author. I purchased the course because I wanted to become as strong a brand as they are. I wanted to see what they do. So that was less important for me, although I have used it in writing my own work, and I may well come back to it and use it in future. But one thing this course is missing is the outsourcing element. There's only one video in it, and it's very minimal. So that's something that I can perhaps help with personally later on. But back to this, Module 4, book publishing made easy. So that's the kind of, once you've written your book, putting it all together and getting it out there. Number 5 is launching your book and getting your promotion, marketing it, and getting readers. Level 6 is leveling up your business, scaling it up and making more money in various different income streams, some of which I didn't realise until I came onto this. So let's get straight into it. Module 1. Don't worry, I'm not going to be like showing you every video here. I'm not going to overcook this video. I want to make sure that it gives you a snippet, enough of an insight into what it's about without actually just giving you everything. So this is one cool thing I like. They just do a 30-second intro on each module. They also do this cool thing as well. This is more of a new thing they put in recently, which is a module summary PDF. So you can print this out if you like. So this is the module 1, the mindset. And what they've basically done is just put the main slide snippets together just as bullet points. So if you want a quick reminder, you've got these. You've got just the highlights of each slide to kind of remind you what it is. Okay, so just close that down. Then you go down into the lessons themselves. Each of the lessons has a very similar setup. When you click on it, all of them have videos ranging in length from like a minute up to I think about just short of an hour. I think some of them are. Most of them are in the 5 to 10 minute bracket. You can download the slides as you see them here, the PowerPoint slides for a highlight, or you can actually download the entire transcript, every single word either Barrie or Steve say. Then if there's any attachments, any Excel charts or anything they use and recommend, they put that down there to use as well, which they have some really useful stuff. So that's just the kind of the general layout of it. Then you can skip back to the next lesson or back to module 1. So let's actually go back to module 1 there. Okay, I think this is a really clean-cut course personally as well. Not that that matters too much, to be honest, but I think it's a nice professional course. So this is module 1, quite in depth there. I'm not going to mention all these. You can read them on this YouTube video. Just scrolling down so you get an insight into what type of topics they talk about. I think I'm just going to highlight this one thing because I think this is really key. Your books are assets. This kind of summarizes what the course is about. Steve and Barrie really push home the message that this is a business. This is not just about making a quick buck. It's not about just chucking a shitty little Kindle book together. It's about making something of real quality and value for the end user, which is something I totally buy into. Even though I might not write the books myself, I hire writers that are better than me and create stuff that's better than the competition out on the market to create value for others. This building a book business thing, I'm in total support of. So module 1 was a very good starting point. Module 2, this is your best-selling book idea. So what the hell do you write about? I like the idea of it, but what do we do? So again, Steve and Barrie will talk you through the 3 Ps of selecting a niche. That's a very, very good lesson, and I've adapted that myself. I've extended it actually. I do more in depth personally, but it's a really, really good starting position for it. Focusing on one niche at a time and absolutely blitzing it and dominating it, which I agree with. 30,000 rule. Steve Scott's book, the 10-minute declutter book here, it's on the far left. Again, for those of you that the uninitiated, the books on the far left are the best sellers, and then it goes to the further right that you go here, they don't sell as well. So this is his bestseller. This is selling like hotcakes as well, and it's been out for a while. So he's making $6,000 a month on that book alone, and that's without pages read, that's without paperback, that's without audio, and it's not a new book. So yeah, Stephen, as I say, he knows what he's doing. But here he actually talks about how he got to creating it. So there's a case study on that successful book. So that's a really cool insight. Researching how to build idea capture habit and websites to use to research potential book ideas. Scooting on, module 3. So now how to write your bestseller. Again, I looked at this. I still picked this up because I find some value in it. It's about how to create a best-selling book topic. I think that's totally useful for outsourcers. How to survey readers, that's still important. Customer avatar is important. Book length, finding the hook, title, super, super important. Then you go on to writer's block, first draft, second draft, working with an editor. This is something that they strongly push, and I've done off the back of this course, and I now push as well, improving writing skills. And why you should hire a ghostwriter. So that's the one element. It could do with a little bit more detail, that video, but it's still good enough, I think. Module 4. Okay, this is when you've got your writing done and putting it together, so book publishing made easy. So this is about costs, what pricing, covers, getting your feedback on covers, uploading, formatting your books, selecting keywords, and then there's a lot of these overview and walkthrough videos, which are what they say they are. They don't go into great length, but they give you an insight to know more. Steve, actually, if you click on them, he will actually provide either blogs, articles, videos, or something where you can go and learn more, just to open up the opportunities to kind of develop your publishing business, and some of which I hadn't really had much insight to, so I thought they were interesting. Okay, module 5. This is one of my favourite ones. This is how to launch your book, and I personally think he's done a great job in this section. So this he discusses how to create a lead magnet, which is a free book to get people onto your mailing list and then to start building a relationship with them. Creating a landing page for people to find you, guest posting, getting testimonials, and generating reviews. 9 strategies, none of which involve paying for reviews, which is against Amazon's terms of service, and which the vast majority of these Kindle gurus, if you could see me, I'll be doing the finger speech mark thing Kindle gurus suggest doing. I stopped paying for reviews when I watched this, because you don't need to. There are some sod ways to work around that. How to build a street team, and that is part of it. So build a team of people that benefit in other ways, not financially, but from being part of your team, and which they're happy to leave reviews. Social media marketing strategies, identifying your book launch strategy, and then these 2, which I think are awesome, the 10-day free book launch strategy. So when you're launching it free of charge, or if you're doing a 10-day paid book launch strategy, launching it at 99 cents or slightly higher, what your 2 strategies could be. So they were excellent. I've used both of those. And then module 6, last one, is about leveling up. So just taking it on another stage. Ways to grow your business, tracking your book-based business. And Steve shows you his charts. He's totally transparent with everything. He'll give you what he uses. He shows you his numbers, and goes into great length. I think the guy is super detailed and disciplined, and that is why he's successful. Although he's a great writer, he's a cool guy. I think his mindset is a massive reason behind that, and you get an insight in this course. How to maintain sales. Book bundles, running a sales event, using paid book ads to increase sales, using blogs to market your books, Facebook ads, audiobook production strategies, creating a tribe, affiliate marketing overview. So that gives you a sense of what I think is like 90 plus hours, which is one of the longest courses on Kindle marketing, of the length of videos that they have included in that. The modules are excellent. Scooting on to the rest of this, you can see here lesson archive. So these are just simply another way. To be honest, I'm not sure why they've done this personally. Maybe they see it's a bit quicker. I don't see it's that quicker unless you just click straight on the module. It's just all the lessons displayed a little bit differently. I might be missing something there, but I don't really see the point in it. Bonuses. There are some excellent bonuses here. So this was one that came back from feedback from this wasn't there initially. This came back after people were asking about it. But Steve, how do you write and launch a bestseller in like a couple of months and for less than $150? So he just spends 27 minutes explaining how you would go about doing that. If you're brand new to this, you've never done anything before, how do you actually write and launch a book bestseller in 40 days? That's a great video. And he's got all of the links that he mentioned in there. So you can click on all those and help you towards that. Evernote for Authors with Steve Scott. So he's written a book. I don't think it's there. Oh yeah, it is, Master Evernote. So he's actually written a book, The Unofficial Guide to Organising Your Life with Evernote. He's a big fan of that. So he's now showing you how you can use that tool, piece of software to actually help with your author business. I don't use it. I looked at the video and it's just not something for me personally, but it might be something for you. And if you use Evernote, you might be able to pick some great tips up there. This is one of the best pieces of information that Steve provides. So Steve has got onto BookBub, which is the biggest promotion company out there for books. Steve got rejected a handful of times, which just goes to show how hard it is to get onto BookBub. But he's got 3 out of 3 on his last 3 promotions for getting onto BookBub. It's notoriously difficult, and he breaks down exactly how he does that and how you can just do the same thing. That is worth its price in gold, that one. Canva tutorial. So this is a new one. So once you're creating a lead magnet, how to do a really cool looking one free of charge using Canva. That was brand new to me prior to coming onto this membership site. So Barrie did a great job of explaining that. Setting up a WordPress blog. And this is with Ron, so I think he's the kind of software behind the scenes guy, just showing you how you can set up a blog minimally and for free of charge, or for low cost to get you up and running. A simple email walkthrough using Aweber with Ron, again just showing you how you can start email marketing from scratch. The last 2 aren't in great detail, but they're enough to get the complete beginner to understand what it's about and to get you up and running. So those are the bonuses. Guest experts, nice feature Steve's done here. So what there's like 8 people that they've interviewed here. The person on the right is the person that's interviewed. So you've got Barrie and Steve, and there's Ron. So they were all interviewing these experts, and I don't know if you've heard of these people, but these are legit authors. If you click down below, Mark Dawson is renowned for his Facebook marketing. So he's a former lawyer, talking about that. He's a best-selling fiction author, sold 350,000 copies in his series, and is working on other writing. So you would see the conversation they have, how they got into it, any tips and advice. So this is a really nice little extra. And I've also been led to learning more about each individual and learning to become a better author off the back of these. Dave Cheston's someone that I push all the time as well. He's got the blog Kindlepreneur. So if you haven't checked out Kindlepreneur, you totally should if you're into self-publishing and Kindle publishing, because the guy is awesome. It's all free of charge and it's top quality as well. So that is the guest expert. So you can stick that on as you're making lunch or going for a walk somewhere and learn more about self-publishing. Facebook group, I'm not going to click on that because it will give away the code for it, and I don't want to disrespect Steve and Barrie and Ron, but I'm just going to click on here one of the advantages to joining the group. So once you're in, you can join this closed group and work together, build accountability partners. You can see here Barrie, Steve and Ron are all active in this group, and they leave messages and comments. People are asking for advice. People are asking for opinions. Here you've got someone wanting beta readers, for his best-selling book, or potential best-selling book, I don't know. You have people asking for opinions on covers. You can see Barrie here has actually created a poll, so she's asking people, I think it's, so she wants help with the titles and which ones you like best. So this is what people do quite a lot on here. They'll put forward 3-5 titles and then ask which one do you guys prefer, and if there's any standouts that can really help just getting other people's opinions on it. They do the same thing for covers as well as share articles on how you can help each other. This is another great one from Steve at the start of the year. So he's got a book out which is on building accountability partners with your friends, and he gives away the book free of charge on this link, so you can pick up a free book there as well. But yeah, it's hugely useful. I probably don't spend as much time on Facebook as I should to kind of learn from it, because I only end up getting distracted, but it's a very nice extra. And for those of you that do use this type of thing, you can get a lot of valuable information from kind of leaving posts and looking what other people have read. So I think is almost it. There's support, so if you've got any queries and questions about Authority Pub Academy, you can get in contact with them about anything. And finally, the resources section. So this is a bit of a generic thing that most courses do, where if you want to use the stuff that they use, here there are links to it. So these are usually affiliate links which they get paid for as well, to kind of show support in return. As such, in line with that, nice little way to end it actually, I'm going to do exactly the same. Steve created a affiliate link, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you found it useful, you got any value from it, and you're interested, I'll provide a link which you can click on, and I will receive a commission for it if you go ahead and purchase it. Ultimately though, you don't feel the need to do that. You know, if you want to use it and try it out, you can. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, 60 days, which I think is pretty bloody cool personally. So you can have it for 2 months, learn all this, put it into practice, and then get your money back if you weren't happy. Which I think, if nothing else, shows absolute confidence in what they do. So yes, if you're interested, click on it below. But I do want to wrap up on a couple of other things before I do wrap up, which is just want to summarize what I think the strengths and the weaknesses are. So, and it's not perfect. It's very, very good, but it's not perfect. So for me, the strengths, I think it offers first-class information from successful publishers. So you can't deny how good Steve and Barrie are, and the information they provide is absolutely excellent, of really high standard. Another point, information is built and centered around building a business and how you can stand apart from the rest of the competition, how you can have multiple income streams just from your one genre of publishing. So that is a key message which goes throughout, and I think it's what stands this course out above the rest of them. There's a one-off fee. So it's a lifetime membership. It's once and done, that is it. You can get your money back if you aren't happy, or you can just stay with them for life, and then everything they add, which I've benefited from here, you get free of charge or included in the fee, however way you look at it. I think this is perfect. The perfect course for anyone interested in writing or authors, and you want to make some money, substantial money from doing it. This is a great platform to do that. It provides the basics to publishing your first book and to building a book business ultimately. You can go from knowing nothing to getting a book out. They use real case studies, such as Steve's best-selling book, and real-life examples of spreadsheets and numbers, which I find really useful. I think it's nice to get a true inside look to how successful people do it firsthand. They have the 60-day guarantee, which I've mentioned previously, and for me this course just ultimately sets a higher barrier of entry for producing quality books than the rest of the courses that I've taken part in. So that's why I'd ultimately recommend it. Why isn't it perfect? For starters, it isn't cheap. It's $647 US dollars at the time I publish this video. That I appreciate that is quite a lot of money. So if you can afford that, they do provide an option where you pay slightly more. I think it might be 10 to 15% more off the top of my head if you do monthly payments. So that's one option. Or you can choose a lower quality, cheaper option. The other thing that I think stands out about it is there's limited information on the outsourcing element. So if, like me, you don't want to write your own book, you want others to write for you, there's not as much information on how you go about doing that. They do talk about some options, but I think they could be more detailed. Steve actually has a few jabs, a few kind of like light-hearted jabs at people that do Kindle publishing and don't write their own work and put out shitty little 5,000 word books. And I think fair play to him. There are a lot of people doing it, and there's a lot of shit on Amazon. So I think he has a point. But where I suppose I disagree with him, there are people like myself that I've produced a 30,000 word book from someone that's a better writer than me, that's a bestseller in like 8 categories, and has made me, I think it's going to be close to like 1,500 UK pounds in a month, and that's off my launch, off the back of what I've learned from Steve. But so it's totally possible to do it the other way. I don't think Steve gives enough credit for that. So to counter both of those points, okay, I can't do much about the price. It is what it is. But the limited information on outsourcing, you're welcome to contact me direct. I'm happy to. I offer coaching, and I'm happy to go through that if you want to know how I went about hiring my writers. And I suppose coaching full stop, if you want to know how I created 80 books and quit my job doing Kindle after like 7 months of doing it and not writing a word, well, that's a lie. I have written paragraphs actually. I've not written a whole book. at all. I've had people do that for me, and I've edited some of the work. That's the truth of it. But if you're interested, I'll put my coaching link below, and there's an application form for that you're welcome to use. So once again, guys, I hope you found this useful. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.